Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Richard, and welcome back to the weekly watchlist video. Each and every Saturday, I go through hundreds of stocks and try to find the best swing and position trade setups that I'll then present to you guys in this video. For each of the stocks on this focus list, we'll go through both the fundamentals of Marketsmith, which is sponsoring this video, and we'll also cover the technical setup that I would use to trade the stock in TC2000. And before we dive into the video, if you want to submit your pick for this week's stock picking contest, go ahead and submit it down below in the comment section following the instructions on the screen right now. And if you enjoyed my analysis, please go ahead and leave a like down below. It really does help me out and my channel a ton. And subscribe if you're new and looking forward to more videos just like this one. But diving right in, we've got Vroom Inc., ticker symbol VRM, which is an e-commerce platform for buying and selling used vehicles. And overall, you can see it's not yet profitable, but does have quite substantial revenue growth of about 60-70% the past few quarters. And taking a look at the annual EPS estimates, you can see it's not supposed to be profitable within 2020 or in 2021. The EPS rating is a 6, the group RS is an A, SMR rating is a D, accumulation distribution is not available, and the overall composite rating is a pretty poor 67. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see it just reported one quarter, and you've got 53 funds in there, but it does have 2 high-quality funds in there, which is quite impressive to see, honestly, given it's such a young stock. And overall, taking a look at the chart, you can see it's right near the pivot of its IPO base, which was stage 1 with a pivot of 59. And overall, the RS rating is decently strong at 88, and the overall RS line is heading in the right direction, although it's not quite at all-time highs. And as for the entry step that I would use to trade this stock, I want to see continued breakout on volume. I really want to see a huge uptick in volume if it continues to move upward. So that's my plan for Vroom. And next up, we've got SE or C Limited. And overall, this is a previous stock of the week. So if you want a little bit more information and background about the company, go ahead and hit the link that's above right now. But overall, once again, it's not yet profitable, but it does have quite substantial revenue growth going back the past few quarters. And looking at the annual EPS estimates, you can see it's not supposed to be profitable in 2020 or in 2021. And the EPS rating is a 47, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is a D, accumulation distribution is a B, and the overall composite rating is a 91. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend. You do have Fidelity Contra Fund in there, which is always good to see. And taking a look at the chart, you can see it's in a high tight flag pattern. And right now the RS rating is at 98 and the RS line is right near all-time highs. And as for the entry setup, you can see it did break the downward trend line right here, which would have been a good short-term entry. Or you could have also used the teal dot indicator that showed up this past Monday. But I did miss this entry, unfortunately. But you can always use the more textbook entry of 129.72. So that is SE, and next up we've got Crowdstrike. And once again, this is a previous stock of the week, so if you want more background about what this company actually does, go ahead and click that link above. But overall, looking at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent revenue growth, and last quarter, a jump in earnings up 118%, sales up 85%, and after-tax margins up 2.5%. And you can see it's not supposed to be profitable in 2020 or 2021, but it is supposed to turn a profit in 2022. And the EPS rating is a 72, the group RS is an A, SMR rating is a D, accumulation distribution is a B+, and the overall composite rating is a 95. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, and you have a huge jump this most recent quarter, and also one high-quality fund in there, Fidelity Contra Fund. And taking a look at the chart, you can see it's been pulling back to the 21 EMA, but moved up last week, and overall the RS rating is at 95, and the RS line is right near all-time highs. And as for the entry setup that I want to use, similar to SE, I want to see a break above the most recent live resistance at 118.58. And I really like the setup because it's right above its green line, which was the first kind of major base of this stock's life cycle. So that is Crowdstrike. And next up, we've got another potential true market leader in NVDA. And looking at the earnings and sales, you can see quite substantial growth the past 2 quarters. Last quarter earnings were up 105%, sales up 39%, and after-tax margins up 36.4%. In terms of annual estimates, you can see in 2020 it's supposed to grow 41%, and in 2022 a further 21% with the revisions up as well. The EPS rating is a very strong 99, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is an A, the accumulation distribution is a B-, and the overall composite rating is as strong as you can get, 99. And as for fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, and you have a whole bunch of high-quality funds in there as well. And looking at the chart, you can see it's been pulling back, basing along with a bunch of other growth stocks. The RS rating is at 96, and the RS line is right near all-time highs. And as for the entry setup, you can see it just broke the downward trend line on Thursday and Friday, and you want to see a breakout above the previous all-time high at 431.69 on above average volume, and a continuation of the move that started on Friday. So that's NVIDIA, and next up we've got GSX. And looking at the earnings and sales, you can see quite substantial growth. Last quarter earnings were up 450%, sales up 357%, and after-tax margins up 14.7%. And looking at the annual estimates, you can see quite substantial growth. In 2020, up 144%, and then in 2021, a further 92%, with the revisions up as well. The EPS rating is an 84, the group RS is an A-, the SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is an A, and the overall composite rating is a 99. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, and you do have one high-quality fund in there as well. And there have been some rumors that these numbers down here are fake, so keep that in mind if you plan on taking a chance on this stock. And overall, my take is that funds, which can do a lot better research than you or I could, have been looking into it, and they've decided to increase their positions. So from my view, the price action will show if those rumors are true or not, but right now it's acting incredibly well. And overall, you can see the RS rating is a 99. The RS line is rating near all-time highs, forming a VCP pattern right here, and it's emerged quite strongly from a stage 3 base. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a breakout through this 9201 pivot on above average volume. So that is GSX, and next up we've got Chewy, another recent IPO that's in the e-commerce business. And looking at the earnings and sales, you can see it's not yet profitable, but does have decent revenue growth the past 3 quarters. Last quarter sales were up 46%, and after-tax margins were down 3%. And looking at the estimates for 2021 and 2022, you can see it's not supposed to be profitable, but it is going in the right direction. The EPS rating is a 17, the group RS rating is an A+, SMR rating is not available, accumulation distribution is a B+, and the overall composite rating is a 75. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, but you don't have any high quality funds investing into Chewy. And taking a look at the chart, you can see that RS rating is a 94, and the price and RS line have been basing the past few weeks. And from the chart, you can see it was moving up late last week. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a break above into new all-time highs on above average volume, a continuation of this high momentum run. So that is Chewy, and next up we've got Coop. And overall, looking at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth. Earnings last quarter were up 567%, sales up 47%, and after-tax margins up 12.1%. In terms of annual estimates, you can see in 2021, it's supposed to take a hit, but it's supposed to bounce right back in 2022. The EPS rating is a 78, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is a B+, and the overall composite rating is a 99. And taking a look at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, and you have a whole bunch of high quality funds in there as well. And looking at the chart, you can see it's in a nice consolidation pattern after this huge run up, and overall the RS line is rating near all-time highs, and the overall RS rating is a very strong 96. And looking at the chart, I want to see a continuation after this nice reversal on Friday. You could enter based on the green dot setup, or I want to see a breakout into new all-time highs above 317.93. So that is Coop, and next up we've got the Trade Desk, another previous stock of the week. And overall, looking at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth here. Last quarter earnings were up 84%, sales up 33%, and after-tax margins up 27%. And in terms of annual estimates, you can see in 2020 it's supposed to take a hit, but it's supposed to bounce right back in 2021. The EPS rating is a 99, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is a B+, and the overall composite rating is a 99. And taking a look at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, and once again, you have 6 high-quality funds investing in this stock. And taking a look at the chart, you can see it's moved up nicely and it's consolidated, holding its 21 EMA, and started moving up late last Friday. And overall, it's important to remember with all these stocks on my watch list that earnings are soon, so keep that in mind. And this is one I'm watching for breakout on earnings. And as for the entry setup, I want to see continuation of this move early next week, and you could enter based on the green dot setup if it continues to act well. Next up, we've got Alibaba, and looking at the earnings and sales, you can see there's decent growth, but last quarter earnings were up only 2%, sales up 16%, and after-tax margins up 19.5%. And looking at the annual estimates, you can see it's supposed to improve 19% in 2021 and 24% in 2022. The EPS rating is a 96, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is a B, and the overall composite rating is a 99. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, and you have 5 high-quality funds investing in this stock. And looking at the chart, you can see the RS line is decreasing, although it has to move up and challenge these all-time highs. The overall rating is an 88, and you can see it's consolidating right over this pivot and holding that 21 EMA from this stage 1B base. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a break of this downward trend line right here, or potentially a short-term stochastic cross if it continues to move up early next week. So that is BABA, and next up we've got Adobe. And this is a potential long-term leader. And looking at the earnings and sales, you can see nice consistent growth. Last quarter earnings were up 34%, sales up 14%, and after-tax margins up 37.9%. And in 2020, the estimates are supposed to increase 24% and a further 14% in 2021. The EPS rating is a 99, the group RS an A, SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is a C+, and the overall composite rating is a 99. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, and you have a whole bunch of high quality funds investing into Adobe. And looking at the chart, you can see it's moved up well since this stage 1 cup with handle, and is right now consolidating and holding that 21 EMA and started to move up late last week. And you can see that the entry setup that I want to use is either a continuation from this downward trendline break or potentially a short-term stochastic cross early next week. So that is Adobe, and next up we've got Zoom. And taking a look at the earnings and sales, you can see excellent growth. Last quarter earnings were up 567%, sales up 169%, and after-tax margins are up 17.8%. And you don't see this type of growth often, so it's important to keep notice of stocks like this, even if they have already doubled in the past. You can see in 2021, it's supposed to increase 269% in terms of annual EPS, and a further 22% in 2022. The EPS rating is an 84, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is a B, and the overall composite rating is a 99. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend with a big jump the past 2 quarters, and you do have one high quality fund, Fidelity Contra Fund, in this stock. And looking at the chart, you can see that it's moved up nicely and is now consolidating as 21 EMA, forming a high tight flag pattern. And overall, the RS rating is a 98, and the RS line is consolidating along with the price. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a break of this downward trend line right here, or potentially a green dot, although it did have a lower Bollinger Band bounce and 21 retake last Friday, so you could enter based on those setups early next week. So that is Zoom, and next up we've got another potential true market leader, Tesla. And taking a look at the earnings and sales, you can see nice growth the past 2 quarters, although last quarter earnings were up 295%, but sales were down 5%, and after-tax margins were up 7.5%. In terms of annual EPS, you can see in 2020, it's supposed to increase 999% and a further 74% in 2021. The EPS rating is a 78, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is a D, accumulation distribution is a B, the overall composite rating is a 96. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend. You've got 4 high quality funds in there as well. And looking at the chart, you can see that the RS line and also the price have been basing, but it is holding that 21 EMA, so I want to see it hold that line and bounce up early next week. And if it does break this 21 EMA, I would consider that a change in character. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a move up from this 21 EMA, as I said, potentially a green dot or short-term stochastic cross, and eventually a break of this downward trend line. So that is Tesla, and next up we've got a solar stock, Sunrun Inc. And overall, looking at the earnings and sales, you can see it has grown very strongly in the past, but last quarter earnings were not available. Sales were up 8%, and after-tax margins were down 13.3%. And looking at the annual estimates, you can see it is supposed to take a big hit in 2020, and is supposed to bounce back in a very strong way in 2021, up 473%. The EPS rating is a 21, the group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is a D, accumulation distribution is an A+, and the overall composite rating is an 86. And looking at the fund ownership, you can see a nice increasing trend, and you do have one high quality fund in there as well. And taking a look at the chart, you can see it's moved up quite strongly from this gap up on volume that was a breakout above this pivot right here. And overall, the RS rating is a very strong 98, and the RS line is basing along with the price. And as for the entry setup for the stock, it did have a short-term stochastic cross on this Friday on huge volume. So I want to see a continuation of that move, and I want to see it hold that 21 EMA and eventually break out into new all-time highs above 43.18. And there are a couple other stocks like ENPH and Sedge, which are setting up nicely, but they do have earnings early next week. So keep that in mind. These are ones to have on your universe list, and keep an eye on for a breakout on volume. So that is Run, and next up we've got an old friend, eBay. Looking at the earnings and sales, you can see increased nicely last quarter, earnings up 64%, sales up 18%, and after-tax margins up 26.9% as it benefits from this e-commerce tailwind. And looking at the annual estimates, you can see in 2020 it's supposed to grow 27%, in 2021 a further 11%, with the revisions up as well. The EPS rating is a 94, the Group RS is an A+, the SMR rating is an A, accumulation distribution is a C, and the overall Composite rating is a 99. And taking a look at the fund ownership, you can see an increasing trend over the past 2 years. You do have one high-quality fund, Fidelity Contra Fund, in this stock. And looking at the chart, you can see that it's moved up strongly from the stage 1B base, and is now pulling back and holding that 21 EMA. And overall, the RS rating is a 91, and the RS line is basing along with the price. And as for the entry setup, I want to see a move up after the short-term stochastic cross and Bollinger Band bounce on this past Friday, and eventually a break of this downward trend line, a break above the short-term resistance at 59.55, and eventually a breakout into new all-time highs at 61.06. So that is my plan for eBay and my battle plan for my overall watch list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and overall my top 3 setups are SE, GSX, and also Zoom. Make sure you guys remember to leave a like down below if you enjoyed, and also leave your stock pick down below in the comment section if you want to enter this week. And remember, there will be prizes at the end of the 10 weeks, including stock books as well as gift cards. So don't forget to leave your pick down below. And other than that, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in future videos.